In the life of every man who advances toward a significant purpose, there arrives an inevitable moment when his objective ceases to be a mere ambitious idea or an abstract dream. It becomes the very architecture of his personality. It is no longer an inspiration, but a system of coordinates, not merely a plan, but a form of existence itself. And at that point, every element in his vicinity, every word, every person, every energy is subjected to a single, irreconcilable criterion. Does this propel me toward my mission, or does it divert me from it? It is at this stage of development that he can no longer afford the luxury of sentimentality, especially in his choice of a companion. For the woman who is incapable of respecting his path, who rolls her eyes at the sound of his strategies, who finds his discipline to be excessive, this is not a simple matter of incompatibility. This is a deliberate and targeted act of internal subversion. This is not a mere absence of support, it is sabotage. Yes, her external form may be flawless, her voice may lull your vulnerabilities, and her touch may awaken within you a primal need for warmth. But you must look beyond the form and apprehend the direction of her influence, because behind that softness may lie a deep-seated skepticism. Behind her humor may lurk contempt, and behind her care may be a persistent desire to dilute your focus, to make you less sharp, less concentrated, and altogether less dangerous. She may not state this directly, but she will accomplish it through her tone, through her intonations, through the subtle pause she takes at the moment you rise before all others to do what they fear to do. Many men harbor the hope that they can persuade such a woman, believing that by explaining, proving, and adjusting, they will finally awaken her admiration. The truth, however, is altogether different. If a woman does not respect your purpose from the outset, she will not change. She does not transform alongside you, but merely adopts until she senses an opportunity to once again dictate the priorities. And it is then that a series of subversions begins. First, she will pose questions under the guise of interest, asking, "Do you truly need this?" before progressing to doubts about your methods with, "You are too rigid, you are taking it too far." Finally, the phrase arrives that contains the hidden verdict, "It is impossible to simply live with you." And if you fail to recognize these signals, you will find yourself in a life constructed around the needs of another, not your own architecture. A man who has tailored his objective to a woman's mood has already lost the game. Because a woman who cannot stand beside you during the arduous process of construction does not deserve to be beside you when you lay the final crown stone. You do not have the right to be convenient. You are not a sofa. You are not a piece of decoration. You are a structure, and if she is incapable of assuming the form of that structure, she has no place within it. There are two types of women in this world: those who march in step with your development, and those who begin to conflict with it as soon as they realize they are losing control over your attention. The first will be the silence in which you can hear yourself think, while the second will be the noise that deafens you. The first are allies, and the second are distractions, and this is the most dangerous form of betrayal, for it is the one that so often appears to be love. Do you believe that love heals? You are mistaken. Love is an amplifier. If the foundation of a woman is respect, it will amplify your strength. But if her foundation is envy or a need to control, it will amplify your internal conflict. Love does not cure, it merely adds weight to what is already there. And if a woman enters your life without respect for your code, she will dismantle it while calling the destruction intimacy. So remember this: the woman who laughs at your discipline, who scoffs at your rituals, who calls your standards an obsession, is not a challenge for you to overcome. She is a minefield disguised with flirtation. If you do not withdraw in time, you will one day awaken in a house that was not built according to your blueprints. And the most terrifying part is that you will be smiling. You will smile because you have become accustomed to it, because you have started to call the things that weaken you comfort, and because weakness has become your new normal. Do not attempt to re-educate. Do not squander your energy on explanations. A woman who disrespects your purpose despises your very nature, and contempt is the first crack in the walls of any fortress. You are either building an empire, or you are living in the ruins of your own compromises. There is no third option. The most insidious error a man can commit is the selection of a companion based on how she radiates in moments of pleasure, rather than on how she comports herself within the landscape of silence. A man driven by emotion observes how she laughs, how she is inspired, how she glows against a backdrop of novelty. But he fails to ask himself the critical question: who is she when the excitement subsides, when the day demands not celebration, but order? It is in the mundane, in the routine, in the shadows. That is where the truth of a woman's character is born. Where there is no spectacle, the truth of her constitution is revealed. Brilliance is an illusion, a source of cheap energy, a flashing neon sign, whereas stability is what possesses true currency. The woman who cannot remain calm on a gray day, within a working regimen, without the stimulus of applause, she is not an ally, but a primed explosive. She will not be present with you in the moment you are occupied with construction, nor will she help lay the foundation while you are silent in your exertion. She will instead cast sparks and create flames, not from inspiration, but from impatience, because chaos is her oxygen. There exists a type of woman to whom a system is intrinsically boring, a woman who is not inspired by forward movement, but is instead aroused by acts of destruction. If there is silence, she will fill it with drama. And if there is stability, she will assault it with impulse, manufacturing quarrels from thin air and initiating emotional flare-ups for the sake of an adrenaline rush. This is not love. It is an addiction to deconstruction disguised as passion. And if you fail to distinguish between the two, you will mistake a tempest for depth, manipulation for affection, and your own burnout for valuable experience. You may think you can manage it, that you can explain, persuade, and stabilize her, but the problem does not lie with you. The problem is embedded in her very architecture. A woman incapable of existing in the rhythm of silence cannot exist in the rhythm of creation, for she does not hold a consistent line. She does not live within a process. She exists only in reaction. Her disposition is not a path. It is an oscillation, and if you integrate yourself into this amplitude, you will lose your direction. You will not be her partner. You will be her function. And as soon as you cease to provide her with the requisite degree of emotional intensity, she will sever the connection. Yet she will call it a relationship that has run its course. A true woman does not introduce chaos into a moment of order. She creates order where all others demand emotion. If you are building, she is silent. If you are moving, she does not pull you back. If you are focused, she protects the silence around you. The woman who is bored by the rhythm of progress is not a partner. She is a brake, cleverly disguised as desire. The truth of her character does not manifest during tempestuous evenings. It reveals itself on a gray Tuesday, a day with no surprises, no dates, and no vivid emotions. There is only the regimen, only the plan, only you executing your will. Grant a woman silence, and you will see who she truly is. If, in response to that silence, she creates thunder, she is not living with you. She is living with her own internal void, and you are not a person to her, but a stimulant. This is precisely why a mature man never chooses a woman based on her appearance. He chooses her based on her reaction to silence. He observes not how she enters a room, but how she conducts herself when she is not receiving a reward, when she is not being entertained, when you are present not as a clown, but as a builder. The woman who lives for a constant stream of emotion will not endure your stability. She will label it boredom and attempt to detonate it, to devalue your discipline, merely to feel that she is still in control of the temperature. But you were not created for a show. You were created for a system, and if she cannot withstand your system, she will destroy it. She will not do it immediately or loudly, but softly. First, she will shift your plan by half an hour. Then she will dissuade you from a single decision, and then she will cast doubt upon your fortitude. And you, without even noticing, will begin to concede your ground until your precision is gone, your regimen is gone, and finally, you are gone. And when you have vanished as a point of focus, she will leave with the phrase, "You've changed." No, you did not change. You became convenient, and the convenient are not loved, but left behind, because a storm does not desire tranquility. It requires a fire to consume, and if you are no longer burning, it will depart in search of where smoke is rising. This is why you must be merciless in your selection, choosing not the one who glitters in the light, but the one who holds her form in the shadow, for only she is worthy of your path.